Hey guys, it's your girl Carrie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have here all 13 dips from Cascade Colorworks' new winter collection. So we're going to go through each one of these. We're going to look at some swatches and then we're going to put together a really fun and festive Christmas mani with some very simple nail art. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then stick around. We're getting into it. Okay, so true time. I need more dips like I need a hole in my head. But I saw this collection and so many of them were so pretty that I was like, I'm just going to buy the individuals. So I started adding them to the cart and I realized that I'd added almost the whole collection anyway. So I thought, okay, that's obviously meant to be then. I'll just get the whole collection. So I do have all 13 dips here and I'm really excited to show these to you. So we have a very nice variety. We have some classic Christmas colors, but then we have some more fun stuff too. So there's literally something for everybody in this collection. So let's take a look at the swatches before we get into the mani. So we're going to start first with the 4 solids that we have in this collection. And the first one is called Arctic. And this is a very, very pale blue with slight gray undertones. Next we have Tarako. I believe I'm saying that right. I had to look that up. It's actually the name of a bird. A really pretty green bird, so this color is appropriate. So this is just a solid mid-tone green, and it's more of like a grassy yellowy green than it is a forest green, which I like because that's a refreshing change, I think, from most of the Christmas colors we're seeing. Next we have Poinsettia or Poinsettia, depending on your preference for the pronunciation. And this is a true Christmas red, and you can kind of see by the dust in the lid that it's got pink undertones, but when you swatch it out, you can see it's actually a really good true red. Last but not least, we have Ash, which is a darker gray, and it's more of a cool gray with blue undertones. So here's a look at all the solids in the collection together. So we have one true shimmer in this collection, and it is called Frost, and it is a very icy white with tons of shimmer. So if you're looking to do anything with like a shimmery, snowy look, this one's your girl. So we have 8 glitters in the collection. We're going to start here with Frozen, which is a very unique blend of icy blues and silvers and whites. And there's some iridescent flakes in here too. This one is stunning. Next we have Glacier, and this is such a cool, haha, pun intended, a cool mix of matte and shiny glitters. And I just love that look. So there's different shades of blue, silver, white. Next we have Orion, which is a fine glitter, and it's definitely more of a deeper blue, but wow, is that beautiful or what? Next we have Emerald, which is a good mix of fine and medium glitters, and it's definitely a true green, and Emerald is a proper name for it because it looks just like an emerald. Next we have Crimson, which is the same texture as Emerald, but a red version, and it sparkles just as much. Look how pretty that is. Next we have Ruby, which is a similar tone to Crimson, but it is much, much chunkier. And it does have a nice fine glitter mix in with it, but it definitely is chunky. So you can see I've only done one layer here. So, this is just for swatching purposes, but if you were going to use this one, I would say you'd probably want to do one layer and then hand place some. Next we have Holly, which is more of a medium texture, and it's such a cute mix of red and green and silver, just a classic look. And last but not least, we have Tinsel, which is another chunky glitter mix, and it has red and green and gold pieces in it. So here's a look at all the glitters together, and what a gorgeous mix, right? And such great variety. I just think they really did such an amazing job on this collection. Well, with 13 gorgeous dips to choose from, I definitely had a hard time picking out what I was going to use, and I definitely gravitated to some of those blues, but I think it's time to dip our toes in the Christmas pond. So I picked out some classic Christmas colors here. So I've got poinsettia, holly, and frost. And we're just going to put together a very simple mani with a little bit of nail art just for a little extra flair. So we're going to put poinsettia on the thumb, the pointer, and the pinky. And then we are going to put frost on the middle finger, which is where we'll be doing our little simple nail art. And then on the ring finger, we're going to put holly. So I'm starting here with poinsettia, that gorgeous true Christmas red, and then I'll move on to frost, and then we'll do the glitter holly last. So I'm going to step back just for a little bit and let you watch the dipping process, and I will speed a lot of this up just to get to the nail art, but I did want to leave some of this in here so you can see how the powders apply, and I'll be back here in a little bit. Okay, I lied. I had to show you one more thing because look, I had this klutzy carry moment. If you blinked, you probably missed it. So ridiculous. Right as I was pulling my thumb out of the jar, I raked my pointer finger on my other hand right across that wet dip. What an idiot. So I thought, I'd like to take this out of here and not show people these things, but you know what? This is real life, folks, and Klutzy Carrie does klutzy things sometimes. So I actually decided to leave it in here because I wanted to show you that it's not the end of the world if you do something like this. You'll see with another layer or two, this is going to completely disappear and you'll never see it, but it's too funny. I had to show it to you. Now that we're done laughing at my klutzy moment, I'm really going to shut up now. I'll be back in a little bit.
Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand, you and me. Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. And I can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas times. Oh, and the sunset is just getting better on a blanket with the skyline painted in blue. Ooh, yeah, that's what we do. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring.
Let's take a minute to appreciate this red. It's gorgeous and it's such full coverage, but it also looks super smooth. And I don't know if you noticed earlier when I showed you the brush, but there was actually very minimal staining on the brush and even less on my fingers. So very impressed with this one.
In my heart. Wanna fall in. Rain is pouring. Wanna Christmas in my heart. Wanna let me. Christmas in my heart.
So Frost gave me gorgeous opacity in 2 layers. I was afraid when I went to file and buff this a little bit that I was going to lose too much of that shimmer. So I did decide to go ahead and dip it and clear it. It's not something you'd need to do, but that was just the reason why I did that. I want you to watch this glitter pour out because if it's one thing that Cascade Colorworks really nails, haha, again, pun intended, It's glitters. They have such a great balance between glitter and clear. In fact, to the point to where you can barely see the clear in that dip. And I really appreciate that because that means that there's not a lot of filler in there, and I'm getting really good opacity with these glitters. In fact, you're gonna see I only do one dip. Yes, folks, one single dip of this fine glitter, and it is completely covered. Just watch. There is something too that is really unique about the texture of these glitters. I don't know how to explain it. They almost feel silky, but something about them, they just really work. They just are so effortless. They lay down so flat and smooth. If you struggle with glitter application, I would say grab a mini or two and try these out because really, I just think they are so effortless. Okay, so everything's dipped out. As you can see, I mean, this is going to take very little filing and buffing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera and I will be right back. Look how beautifully everything cleaned up. I mean, I'm just super impressed with how these went on. So I'm going to go ahead and top coat everything but the middle nail with my gel base and gel top, and I'll be right back. Y'all, if you need a good red, I can't recommend this one enough. I mean, the color, just the lack of staining, how smoothly it went on, it's just beautiful. So really loving this red. Okay, so let's get into the simple nail art. So for this, you're going to need a gel base and a gel top coat. So I've got my iGel Beauty here. And then I also have some paints that I'm going to be using. I have two of the line art gels here, a darker green and then the pastel green from the line art gel kit. And then I also have a red gel polish there. It's just because the red in the kit is a little more of a hot orange red, and I wanted more of a true red to match this. So I'm using the Siren gel polish. And then because I never know what brushes or tools I'm going to use, I grabbed an assortment for my kit. So I have the Beetles line art set, and then I also have a brush from iGel, and just a couple of assorted dotting tools. So we're going to start by putting down a layer of gel base to act as the foundation for our art. And I have said this in my other videos, but I realize that not everybody likes gel, or I know some folks have gel allergies and can't use gels. If that's the case, you can definitely use acrylic paints. There are also some alcohol-based markers on Amazon that you can use on these. You could always use stickers. I mean, there's a variety of options here. You know, even some very pigmented quick dry nail polishes. But as for me, gel is just my preference, so that is what I'm going to use for this, but feel free to use whatever you like to use the same art technique. So all I'm going to do here is sketch the outline of the holly leaf, and I'm just going to do two. And you know, this is definitely more whimsical looking. This is not meant to be, you know, a perfect artistic detailed holly leaf. But the reason I am using two different greens is just to give it a little more dimension, give it a little more pop on the nail. But of course, you don't have to do that. I'm just going to play around with a couple of different shades just to give it a little more dimension. One thing you're not seeing, and just a reminder about gel, is that you can stop and flash cure at any time. So I did finish one leaf. I flash cured it for about 15 seconds, and then I moved on to the next one. So you do need to remember to go back after you're done and fully cure everything. But flash curing just kind of holds it in place. You don't have to worry about messing it up while you move on to the next section.
Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart.
So once I fully cured the dark green, I just went back in with the light green and kind of just put down a layer roughly just over top of it, leaving a little bit of an outline of the dark green.
In the sand you and me. Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. And I can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas times. Oh, and the sunset is just getting better on a
And then once that's fully cured, I went back in with the dark green and just kind of added some detail lines over top. So again, I'm not trying to be very precise with this. I'm not trying to be botanically accurate. I'm just trying to give a little bit more shape and a little bit more life to it.
in the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You and me, doesn't matter. It's Christmas in my heart.
And then I just put a little of that red gel polish on my tray and grabbed a pretty large dotting tool because I wanted fat, juicy berries. So I'm just going to put 3 of them on here just haphazardly. After I cured those, I decided to take my white from the liner kit and just add a little bit of a shine to these just so they'd kind of be consistent with the dimension that I had in the leaves. And after that's cured, we're just going to finish with the layer of our no wipe gel top coat. All finished. So we're just going to go in now with some cuticle oil, and I'm still testing out Scales of a Mermaid, and the one I have here is in the dropper, and it's called Sweet Cravings. And this is delicious. It's actually described as a confetti cake, which I definitely get, but for some reason I also get a tiny hint of strawberry too. So it almost gives me like a strawberry shortcake vibe. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Like I was ready to eat this stuff, but don't eat it. It's not for eating. And there you have it, guys. So I am definitely feeling in the holiday spirit with these nails. I just think they're so cute. The colors perform so beautifully. Just don't think you can go wrong with anything from this collection. So I would love to know in the comments down below if you guys picked up anything from this Cascade Colorworks winter collection. I'm curious to see what you were drawn to because I loved all of them. I just think they're so fun because you get those classic Christmas colors, but you also get such unique other colors to go with it. I just think it's such a very well-rounded collection. So that's going to complete this video, guys. So I hope you found it helpful and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, it would help me out so much if you would give me a thumbs up down below. And while you're there, if you haven't subscribed already, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. And don't forget that notification bell. So other than that, guys, I appreciate you being here and watching, and I will see you in the next one. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.